she gave me a phone call, and the words out of her mouth were, Mica killed herself last night in a state park. JP called me Saturday night and said that a kayaker found her, and that prior to that, she called the police herself and said that she was going to herself. My first question to her was, did you do church service this morning? Because this was right after right after it would have ended. And she was going around the question. She didn't want to answer me. And then said, yes, we did church service. And I said, and who preached this morning? And she said, JP. Which I was just in absolute disbelief that he, the very next morning, could go and talk to anybody, let alone, I mean, obviously now we've all seen the videos of everything he said. So then I asked if, they had any information. Did they know what led her there? What happened exactly? She told me that on Saturday night, she went to his house. So she was there with him Saturday night, the night that Mica passed, which I have submitted to the tip line.
Damn, do you have a backup account you can come talk on?
Yeah.
Like, you got your whole name out there, and I'm real life concerned about you, saying all this right now.
I'm not very concerned, to be honest with you. I have tried to get through to her over and over, and I'm not going to say her name here. She is in charge of the church page. She's the one who's been blocking everybody, not him. Everything posted's been by her.
Okay.
But I'm not going to say her name
all
here.
All of those passive-aggressive Bible verses, too?
Yes, all of it.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
I feel some kind of way right now.
I know.
I've tried very hard to. I mean, this has been. I can give a little background on how I know Mica.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if you have an anonymous account you could come back on or something.
I don't have one. I can try to make one.
I think she's probably where I am. She knows that. I mean,
yeah, but what about mother-in-law? That's what I'm really worried about.
Yeah.
She's no longer on any social media. She's no longer on any Facebook. She's deleted all of her accounts other than being behind the church account, which I'm blocked on, so I'm not sure if it's still up.
Right.
Okay.
I just worry about somebody seeing it and say, oh, I know. Let's look up Brittany Dowler. Who's her mother-in-law? That's what she's talking about. If they're
I guarantee you she's already gotten a text.
I'm sure. I'm sure she has. A little context on how I know Mica. I have been with my husband since we met whenever we were 14 years old. And at that time, I knew that his mother was going to Solid Rock whenever it was at its previous location, and she has never left. I was working at a restaurant that I worked at, and I saw Mica and JP come in together, and at this time, I was 17 years old. And at that point, I knew that she was married, and I knew that he was married. So I had taken a picture of them, called my mother-in-law, and said, this seems a little odd that they're here alone. Just wanted to give you that information. She then called him and said, do you have something that you need to tell me? And he said, I will tell everyone myself. So we knew right there that they were having an affair, which is proven. That's how they got together. Ever since then, it's been a constant argument between me, my husband, and her about how brainwashed she is. It honestly is sad. She believes everything he says. You can't tell her anything, and she's not going to listen.
You're talking about your mother-in-law, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she essentially, and I guess that's what brainwashing is she worships the ground he walks on. More so worships him than I think anything else. We obviously, after this came out, got into a huge argument. She showed up at my house. We had to call the police. It was just an awful situation. She has since blocked me on everything. She was texting me quite a bit, and I didn't respond because every text she sends me is sticking up for him. It's an excuse for him of how he would never do anything like this, or Mica was mentally ill, Mica was sick, and a family member of mine became very close with her within the past month or so of her being alive. And we know that to not be true. She was not sick. She was doing everything that she could to get away and build a better life for herself.
Right.
So I just wanted to make that clear. The church is not closing. It's still open. I know for a fact that they have no intention on closing unless.
All right. So is he the one that actually opened the church from the very beginning?
I can't answer that for sure. As far as I know, yes, he was in a different location, and then they moved to Market Common, and then actually within the last few months, finalized their contracts on their new property.
Okay.
They were planning on moving locations again.
Yeah, so I want to go, if it's okay, I want to go back to what you said about how your mother-in-law was at his house Saturday night when she passed. I've been seeing things about how JP was apparently in Charleston at a ball game. So are you saying that's not true?
Came out my mother's mouth that she went to his house Saturday night. That he called her, out of her words, she said he was hysterical, and she drove right over. And in my opinion, that was to have an alibi.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't able to find anything confirming that he was in Charleston at a ball game. So I mean, I've been questioning that from the start.
Right.
Guys, I want to say something real quick. We have made it clear to Brittany that we are concerned about this being publicly shared. And Brittany has said, well, I'm not concerned. I'm saying there's nothing more we can do. Brittany, Brittany, are you of sound mind and body and over the age of 21?
I am.
Then there's nothing we can do. I mean, there's just not. Like, if Brittany wants to share this information, she's going to share this information. For everybody in the chat, we can't verify this information. We don't know who Brittany is. Brittany just came up here. She's making claims that only she can verify. And I think that if you had an anonymous account, it's a little bit better. You can change your name and profile picture on your account if you wanted to. But at the end of the day, Brittany is a whole grown-ass person that we can't control. So I want to, get that out of the way. And plus, let's stop asking Brittany to name her mother-in-law. We're not going to do that. Okay.
No, I'm not going to say her name, and I appreciate the concern. I really do. But I have been very, very, very vocal on my Facebook account. So I'm not so much worried for myself. I have been worried for her safety this entire time, only because her name is out there. It is. You can go on many posts, and she's being talked about, and that's nothing that I can control. I just will not say her name on here.
And don't say it in the comments either. I see.
Please.
No. The people talking about other people doxing. So don't do that.
I have a question. Sure. Also, Brittany. I was informed this afternoon, and I was wondering if maybe you said that you are not aware of the church closing. I was informed that after the services for Mica, that the majority of the other ministers had resigned. They all still support him, but I don't know if they're presenting it to the public as they're resigning to potentially move the church elsewhere, but that they're stating that they are closing.
Okay, I have not been informed of that at all. I do know to be a fact that the couple that was in charge of the camp has pulled out. It has also been said that they were not affiliated with the church, but that is not correct. I work at a restaurant, and I served them a few months ago at their board meeting for Solid Rock. So I know that to be a fact. They were affiliated with the church. I don't know their relationship now with him. I just do know that they did move out of the church and back out.
Yeah, I did. I knew that as well. I can confirm that as well, that they moved their stuff out of that church a couple days ago because there was a U-Haul parked out there, and that woman commented on my post saying that was us. We were moving our stuff out, and we don't want anything to do with him anymore. So I can verify that as well.
Wow, just a second. Meg, I'm reading what comments I can read, but there's over 6,000 people in here, so no, I can't read them all.
Brittany, I have a question. Did JP do the funeral service today? Do you know?
I can't answer that for certain.
Okay.
There's a Krista in the comments, and that's who I've been speaking to, and her husband is actually a member of the church.